During my portfolio presentation, the teacher told me to stop, because another student had presented my exact work earlier that day. I have been drawing since before I could write. My sketchbooks go back to 2nd grade. I was the student who got pulled out of regular art to sit in on the advanced class in 7th grade, because my teacher said I was wasting time in hers. So when Mrs. Calloway held up her hand during my AP Studio Art portfolio presentation and told me to stop, I didn't understand. She wasn't angry. She looked disappointed, which was worse. She said, very quietly, Linnea, I saw this exact presentation during 2nd period this morning. I was presenting 5th period. She taught both sections. I asked her what she meant. She said a student named Oren in her 2nd period class had presented a portfolio with the same concept, same compositions, same color studies, and nearly identical artist statements. She said she didn't want to believe it, but the similarities were undeniable. 31 people were staring at me. I could feel the girl beside me shift her chair slightly away, like what I had was contagious. I told Mrs. Calloway I had no idea who Oren was. I had never met anyone from her 2nd period class. She said the work was too similar for that to be true. My portfolio was a 14-piece series on urban decay in my grandmother's neighborhood. I had spent the entire semester photographing crumbling buildings, sketching them on location, then painting them in gouache at home. Over 200 reference photos on my phone, dated sketchbook pages going back to September. Paint on a jacket I still haven't washed because my mom says it looks artistic. Mrs. Calloway said she would need to report both of us to the Academic Integrity Board. Both. As if I were half of a collaboration I never agreed to. I said I was not going to sit down and wait for a process that assumed I was guilty. She said we would handle it after class. I said I would rather handle it now, because once my work was flagged, I would never get to present it clean. She paused. I don't think a student had ever said that to her. I asked to see Oren's presentation. She hesitated, but pulled it up on her laptop. I walked to her desk. The room had gone so quiet I could hear someone's water bottle settle on the table behind me. The slides looked like mine. Same angles, same buildings, same crumbling brickwork, but the paintings were flatter. The shadows were wrong. Whoever painted them had worked from photographs, but didn't understand how afternoon light hits west-facing walls. I knew, because I had stood on that street corner 17 times. I opened my phone and showed Mrs. Calloway my photo library. 214 photographs dated from September 4th through November 28th. Every one GPS tagged to my grandmother's neighborhood. I scrolled slowly so she could see the timestamps. Then I opened my sketchbook, the physical one in my bag, dated graphite studies, color mixing notes in the margins, a coffee stain from October 12th that I remember because my grandmother handed me the cup while I was mid-wash, and I set it directly on the page. Every spread was a record of showing up. Mrs. Calloway looked back at Oren's presentation. No process photos, no sketchbook, just finished pieces and an artist statement. She asked how Oren could have accessed my work. I told her I had posted 3 in-progress pieces to my private art account in October. Private, but not invisible to someone who screenshots before you can remove them. I deleted those posts after my older sister told me never to share unfinished work online before a graded portfolio was due. I thought she was being paranoid. She wasn't. It took Mrs. Calloway 2 days to investigate. She pulled Oren's digital file metadata. His files had been created in a 3-week window in November. Mine spanned 3 months. His reference photos were screenshots of my reference photos. The EXEF data still carried my phone's device ID embedded in the image files he had saved from my account. Oren had found my page through a hashtag. He lived 20 minutes from my grandmother's neighborhood. He drove there once to take a few photos of his own for cover, but most of his references were mine, cropped and color shifted so they wouldn't look identical at first glance. He had built an entire semester's portfolio on work I hadn't even finished yet. Mrs. Calloway called me at home to apologize. She said she should have asked to see my process before making assumptions. The following Monday, she stood in front of the class and said the accusation had been wrong. She told them I had earned every piece in that portfolio through months of original work, and she was sorry for questioning it publicly. I presented again that Wednesday. 14 paintings, 200 reference photos, 1 coffee-stained sketchbook. I got the highest score in both sections. Mrs. Calloway wrote on my evaluation, your process was as strong as your product. I should have trusted it from the start. I framed that evaluation. It's above my desk right now.